As travelers whose living situation is largely indicative of wilderness, mountains, and fresh air, we're very familiar with that cliche old squabble about watching television. We've all heard it. The whole point of getting away is to take a break from electronic devices. And how are you supposed to enjoy the peaceful sounds of nature if you're just sitting around watching TV, and so on and so forth? Nevertheless, we do actually support this viewpoint. For weekend warriors, that is. The occasional campers for whom the idea is to leave everyday life behind and unplug. But for full-time RVers, it's in fact an extension of everyday life throughout which we uphold daily rituals such as routine housework, running errands, and most certainly relaxation, which these days is just a fancy word for watching TV. So now that that's out of the way, we're joined by our favorite tech-savvy nomadic duo, Chris and Cherie, to give us the scoop on watching the tube when you roam.
So you're out RVing. Hopefully you're getting outside your RV and exploring, going hiking, and enjoying all the things around you.
But you don't have to feel guilty if some days you just want to stay inside and watch TV or binge a movie or a series or something like that. Don't feel bad about it.
Life on the road is not always campfires and s'mores, especially if you're on an extended trip, seasonal or full timing. It's life. And sometimes there are rainy days.
Or just days that you want to watch your shows.
So how do you get your TV or movie fix on the road when the option is not as easy as just turning on your television?
There are 5 different ways that RVers can get connected and get their TV fix when they are out on the road.
The first is OTA, or over the air. This is the traditional TV antenna
Up on the roof.
And many RVs come with them already pre-installed in different formats.
Yeah, there's a lot of times there will be a crank-up antenna, which you have to crank up and sometimes even aim and have to tune in where the channels are, and they're going to be different than your local channels.
But you can tune into whatever the local channels are being broadcast, and in some locations you might not get many, but if you're near a city, you can get a lot of them. The other option is if you're in a campground, many of them have cable TV pulled right to your spot, and many RVs come already wired with coax cable, and you just plug it in.
It's as simple as plugging in at home, but again, the channels are going to be different than you used to, so you're going to have to figure out what is where you're at.
Remember, your local stations, you're probably not going to get by these methods because you're going to be getting the local stations of where you are now, not where you came from. The other option that a lot of RVers use is satellite television. You might use that at home right now. You can take that on the road with you.
Yeah, so some RVs have satellite TV dishes up on the roof, and they can aim. You press a button, and they will aim and lock on to a satellite. Some of them will even keep that lock while you're driving down the road. This is a feature called in-motion TV that you could look for if you really want to get that TV fixed to maybe entertain the kids while you're driving.
Another option is streaming. Netflix, Amazon, Hulu. You need a really good, solid mobile internet connection to be able to do it, but it is entirely possible on the road to still stream video. Now, your data plan, if you're using cellular, will need to have hotspot enabled, but if you have an unlimited plan on your smartphone or tablet, there's ways to stream to your tablet or smartphone and still get it on the big screen.
Yeah, so the catch to getting it to the big screen, if you don't want to just watch on a small thing like this, is to use an HDMI out dongle, which is made for a lot of different phones and tablets and stuff, and just plug that in, and you then get HDMI output that lets you connect to that bigger screen without using the data plan that is on your device, without using
Your hotspot cap.
Their hotspot data, which is often very limited.
Now, another way of getting your entertainment fix is good old-fashioned hard media. You can buy or rent DVDs, Blu-rays, in your travels. red box kiosks. You can just insert your credit card and pick out what you want for the night.
Yeah, a nice thing about something like a red box is you can pick it up in one location and return the movie at another location, maybe even a state away. So if you're on a road trip, it's a great way to get your movie fix and not have to worry about, well, returning to where you started.
You can also stop in a library, and if you can get a library card, you might be able to borrow DVDs. A lot of our viewers travel with a DVD series, and you can exchange them on the road. It's a great way to get a lot of content. Like go buy a TV series that you want. Maybe even find it at a used store, at a pawn shop or a thrift store.
Binge watch the season. When you're done, swap it with another RVer, and you've got your TV fix wherever you go.
Are there any other options?
No, those are the 5.
Those are the 5. So you don't have to go without your TV and movie when you're on the road. It's a great way to supplement and kind of feel a little bit of normalcy in your life.
And, well, you know, gives you something to do on a rainy day, too.
So there you have it. 5 television tips that make living on the move feel much more like home simply by having the opportunity to catch your favorite sports games, binge watch that new series, enjoy the latest feature, or just flick through the channels. No matter your preference, accessing TV programming in an RV is no longer just wishful thinking, but a very achievable and accepted entertainment option.
Because it was a 20-year-old RV. It was all DIY, it was all done by ourselves, and I think that's a really satisfying part of doing the remodel as well, is knowing that we did it.
We also did it while we were living in it. So while this RV's torn apart, stuff everywhere, painting, ripping up floors, busting out tile, we were still living in the RV at the time, sleeping in it, showering in it. It was a mess.
But with the help of several reliable friends, Marc and Julie managed to transform this country coach into their dream home on wheels, from top to bottom, inside and out.
We touched pretty much every single element of this coach on the inside, but it wasn't just the inside. We also did a lot of upgrades on the outside as well. We made some major upgrades to our power systems, both in the solar panels and in the battery capacity and inverters, the whole power system. Well, actually, that was something really special about this remodel, is that we did the whole remodel off-grid using the solar and batteries on board. We actually were running table saws, tile saws, sawzalls, skill saws, every type of power tool you can imagine doing this remodel, and we did all of that unplugged.
And all of that hard work clearly paid off, as every detail of this modernized motorhome is nothing less than perfect, except maybe one.
As far as the inside of the RV goes, we're pretty much done. I can't think of anything else that I would want to do to change anything major anyway. Really love how it works for us. From the outside, we've made some improvements with the systems, with the battle-born lithium batteries, with the new inverter, the solar panels, loving our new tough top awnings. They look great. That was a huge upgrade. I think my one big thing that I would absolutely love on my wish list would be doing full exterior repaint. That's what I would love to do. I think she would look $1 million.
And as for advice on attempting a reno, these fast trackers surprisingly suggest letting up on the gas.
I think one thing that I would say to anyone considering doing an RV renovation is plan on it taking longer than you might think. The fact that we did ours in under a month was a very lofty goal. We did have a team of people helping us. I would not recommend that because we were doing 16 and 20-hour days, and sleep's important. So I would say do it, but plan for the unexpected, plan to have a buffer in there of time, and that's what I would do differently, is give ourselves a little bit more time, but have no regrets at all about what we did, the choices we made, how it turned out, the systems we upgraded. I love it all. It's absolute freedom now in our life to a whole other level, and it's just enhanced our RV life in ways that I think I never could have imagined.
Revamping an RV can seem like an intimidating project, but small changes can make a big difference. Putting in the care to revive a worn-out space can positively influence your well-being as long as you reside in your rig. Replacing old furniture, updating the kitchen, or swapping the awnings gives your coach a fresh look and its occupants a refreshed outlook on the commitment they made to live life on their terms.
One of the biggest topics that comes up with RVers is boondocking, and that's camping off-grid without electric, water, or sewer hookups. So today, we've come to one of the greatest meccas of boondocking there is, and that's Quartzsite, Arizona. We're here at Split Rail RV Park as we get ready to go out in the desert with some friends who haven't done it before. Anthony, if I understand right, you and your whole band, Matt and the rest of the band, Wicked Truth, came across the country in sub-freezing conditions to get down here. What did you do when it came to dry camping?
Well, we didn't. We tried to stop at truck stops on the way down, and for longer than an overnight stay, we went into a couple of RV parks where we could fully hook up. So I'll be honest with you, the notion of going out in the desert or anywhere and not hooking up to anything and not having those resources like bathroom and shower outside of the RV, given that it's a small Class B camper van, I'm not crazy about it, honestly. I mean.
So Anthony expressed maybe a little less interest in actually going out and doing true boondocking, which is out off the grid where you don't have access to, like the bathrooms in an RV park or a truck stop. How do you feel about that? Are you eager to go out with us?
Oh, I'm eager to go out. I'm eager to learn as much as I can. You know, being full-time in the RV for 6 months now, I've been doing a lot of dry camping and not hooked up to power. I mean, I still use the bathroom in the RV, but I've got some jugs of water that I used for washing and stuff like that, and I've got you know, the handy wipes for, you know, getting the important areas.
So you've already picked up on some of the tricks of the trade. So first question for those like yourselves who haven't really been out off the grid before are, what are your tank capacities? Matt, for example, what are your black, fresh, and gray tank capacities?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I have the owner's manual for this 1998 beauty. But I went looking through it and I couldn't even find it in there.
What we're going to do here in the park, and one of the reasons we're here, is to give you a dry run with a safety net in place. So you're both going to go and find out exactly what your capacities are. You're going to confirm black, fresh, and gray, because it's important to know. Obviously, if you're going to go off grid and you're not going to have hookups, you've got to start with full resources, which basically means a full fresh tank and an empty black tank and an empty gray tank. So what you're going to do when we leave here is you're going to go around to the other side of your RVs, and you're going to turn off the fresh water spigot, and you're going to close the gray valve. And you're going to make sure that your black and gray tanks are empty and your freshwater tank is full before you do that. And that way, you're simulating being off the grid. You are allotted 1 tank of fresh water and no dumping of your black or gray. And there's one other thing, too. Until we leave the park here, you're not allowed to use the bathroom here in the park. You are only going to shower and use the bathroom and wash up on your RV.
Okay, cut. I'm out. I'm out.
There's the bathroom at the park?
So besides using your resources on board only, there's one other thing I want you to do to prepare to go out in the desert that's a good practice if you want to stay for a long time. Depending on your diet, maybe you like to have salads regularly. Maybe you like to have hard-boiled eggs. Hard-boil the eggs here in the park and then dump that water down the drain. Wash the lettuce here and put it inside a container and put it in the refrigerator. The things that are water intensive for food prep that can be done in advance, do them here.
And so if you know that you're gonna, in the next few days, have salad and what have you, you're actually preparing that stuff in your hooked up environment in advance.
That's right.
So you're not cleaning lettuce while boondock. Okay, I wouldn't have thought of that.
We have a salad spinner, and we wash the lettuce and spin it out, and water's gonna go down the drain. Now, John and I have been doing this a long time. We've been boondocking for many years now, and we can go 2 weeks easily, and part of the way we do that is this kind of preparation. How long do you think you might want to stay out there if you like it?
What do you think, Matt?
I think I could probably stretch a week with my resources.
Wow. Okay.
I think I could push it that far.
I'm thinking 2 days probably shouldn't be a problem.
2 days?
3. And if you implement the second cassette toilet, I think 4 or 5 shouldn't be too tough. But I'm in. I'll give it a go.
Okay, great. So let's go get your tank squared away. Right. We're gonna, for the rest of the time we're here, you're boondocking. Okay. Here we go. Now that we're out here in the desert for real, we're gonna find out exactly how Anthony, Lisa, and Matt's experience practicing to come out here puts itself into real-world conditions. We have no restaurants, no bathrooms, no services anywhere near us. Let's find out what it was like getting ready and how they feel about being out here now. Well, guys, now that we're out here, tell me a little bit about what your prep was like, how fast you emptied your freshwater tank when you had your spigot turned off to the water coming into the park and the gray valve closed. What was it like? How many days do you think you could do?
For me, it was pretty easy. As soon as I shut it off and filled my fresh water, I had no problems. I could probably do over a week.
So you felt pretty comfortable?
Very comfortable.
Anthony, how'd it go on your end?
Yeah, I think about the same, actually. The fresh water is not a problem. We filled it up, and I don't think we've used very much at all. I mean, we use bottled water to drink. We really only use the fresh water to wash up and to flush the toilet. And with that little amount of water coming out of the fresh going down the drain, obviously the gray isn't too much of a problem. And I got to tell you, like, it's beautiful here. It is absolutely fantastic. My whole thing about not wanting to boondock because I want the facilities and everything, you can trade some of the creature comforts of a facility, but you're basically in a glorified parking lot in some cases for this. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. It's absolutely breathtaking. And the beautiful thing about RVing is you find one place after another after another. That's like no place else on earth. You can just lather, rinse, and repeat that level of fascination. And you can enjoy it for as long as you can hold out. And I think you guys are in a position to hold out a whole lot longer because I'm limited by this cassette toilet situation.
Well, a lot of it, that's a great point, because so much of it has to do with the type of rig you have and how large your tanks are. But some of it also has to do with what your personal habits are, whether you shower every day or every other day and things like that, whether you grill outside. So we've been doing some things since we've been here. We've been using the grill, and that not only saves electric power, but it also saves creating a lot of extra dishes to wash. So Matt, in your case, you're kind of in between the two of us. So we have a big rig with a 65-gallon gray tank and a 45-gallon black tank. Anthony and Lisa are on the other end of the spectrum. So it sounds like our situations are kind of super easy, pretty easy, and a little more challenging. And that's all in relation to our rigs. You know, we've talked so much about water and that being a limiting factor. And there's a reason for that, actually. It's because water isn't a renewable resource out here, and power is, either through solar or through the use of a generator. And because we have more solar capacity than we need, we plugged Matt's rig into our rig, and right now our solar system is charging our batteries and Matt's batteries all at once.
And I'm very grateful for that.
Oh, you haven't gotten the bill yet. So we get asked all the time, should I get a large solar array? Should I get a large lithium battery bank and invest all that? Well, those things are only needed if you're going to camp like this. If you're going to go from RV park to RV park, full hookup to full hookup, you have no reason to invest in solar panels or lithium batteries at all. But Anthony, you mentioned you kind of like this enough. If you had a different kind of rig with larger tanks, what would you think if you were to have, say, capacities more like we have? Do you think you'd be more inclined to come out here more often?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't necessarily on board the whole boondocking thing, but you know what? I've got no reason to dislike this, no reason to not want to do this. It's amazing. And, you know, over time, it actually can be rather cost effective. If you're saving 30 or 40 bucks a night, not paying camping fees someplace, not only do you get to enjoy all this, but cumulatively, that $30 or $40 a night times multiple nights, times multiple months over the course of years does save you a lot of money. So, I mean, an investment in solar, you don't need the biggest solar system. Our solar system on our van is probably about a quarter of what yours is, and it's charging the battery. We have everything we need, and we're getting the additional bonus of all of this.
Not using the resources in the RV park was really just a means to an end. It's to make sure you could come out here with confidence. And we came out here with you. And when we rolled in here and you got out of your rigs and your jaws dropped as you looked at this scenery, that really was what we were looking for. If you had to kind of sum up how it feels to be in an environment like this versus the sacrifices that you have to make for creature comforts, what do you think so far, having never been in a place like this before?
Oh, I love this. Yeah, if I could do this more, and we'll do this more, and next tour, if we can do more of this and save on the overhead, and yeah, I love it.
I've never been crazy about the notion of boondocking, but now that we've done it for a couple of days, it's amazing. It's incredibly peaceful. Lisa loves to go hiking and take the dogs out for a nice long walk in a beautiful environment. And, you know, we've done campgrounds. I mean, that's where we would go. We would go to one city and pick a campground, then go to another city and pick another campground. And, you know, they're okay too, I guess. But from a scenic standpoint, nothing like this, not even close. So I hate the idea of keeping her away from places where she can go on incredible hikes and just enjoy the outdoors because I want to go to a campground. So it's really great that we can now sort of get the best of both worlds. We're not giving up anything. Going to a place like this, we're gaining, not having to go someplace to hike. You just step outside your RV and you're there. Go.
I think this is the beginning of many future experiences out here for us.
I think so. Matt, you on board?
Oh, I'm on board. Anytime you want to have us back.
So remember, RVs mostly are equipped with water, sewer, and electric built in. Gotta go use them.
Who'da thunk it?